let's go ahead and give us some updates about your squad. A lot has happened this week. You started off by saying that let's start with the good. Somebody came back. Who was it?
Reuben Foster.
Okay. What is he?
What do you mean? What is he?
What is he? What does he do?
He's a man.
What does he do? What does he do?
He's 40.
What does he conscious and a soul, and needs to be respected as such. No, so Reuben Foster was a linebacker that we had gotten from San Francisco who had a few issues as far as off the field, domestic issues or what have you. That I think they all got thrown out. Nothing was proven to be true.
No, I think didn't his girlfriend do this a bunch of times?
Yeah, there was something along those lines. So it was his name was cleared, even though it's still kind of dirty. But it's people that haven't looked enough in depth as far as the situation goes. He hasn't had any luck since he's been here with us. He got hurt twice, major injuries, and just never saw the field. Well, this week today, right as the podcast, as we were doing the Formula One cold open and all the action movie talk that you won't see, we were talking about I got an alert that he just got activated off the physically unable to perform list, and they're saying that they are blown away by the way he looks. They're saying that his maneuverability, everything is second to none. They're as soon as he learns the playbook, which is what everybody's learning right now, is the defensive scheme, since we have a new coaching staff, that just from a physicality standpoint, he should be doing an amazing job. Now, what really does make me excited as far as Reuben Foster coming back, they posted a video from camp yesterday or day before yesterday where they were running suicides. It's not suicides, suicide light. It's the back and then go.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
the 20 yards and then 100 or 50 or whatever.
So they had the defensive line. They had the defensive tackles go. Deron Payne looked like a fucking running back at 300 pounds. Just fucking smoked everybody. But on the second run, they had Chase Young and Montez Sweat, and the rest of the linebackers go. Chase Young was right there with Montez. And Montez is one of the fastest defensive front seven. He is the fastest defensive front seven guy in the league, based on 40 times. To see them, this defense with Reuben Foster coming back is going to be amazing. Which, if we're going to tie everything together, comes to another thing that I know me and James at least talked about for a little bit, which our defensive coordinator Jack Del Rio, who continuously won't just shut the fuck up online. Because he's
even when he does shut up, is bad.
He's a proud American patriot that only questions, which what you should do as an American is to question what you're being told.
Is he like a conspiracy theorist?
He's a QAnon loving. COVID is overblown. I ain't wearing no stinking mask. Donald Trump is great for a country and he might be the Messiah. That is Jack Del Rio.
He also believes in space creatures. Probably.
He believes that all lives matter and wants to say it all the time, but he won't because he knows he'll get his ass fired. It's the only reason he hasn't gone there yet.
How many tweets do you think he starts and he's like, "Ooh, that'll end me back up in Oakland. I gotta."
He's open about that. They've had Washington local reporters have talked to him about your Twitter. He's like, well, I know there's certain things I can say, even though I want to say them. It's
yeah.
All right,
and it's well, what don't you want to say?
He's like, oh, I ain't going there. But he's like, you'll see the line. He's like, I just won't cross certain lines. He's like, I have my opinions, but sometimes it won't necessarily be necessary to say them.
And you wonder why.
I hope that's not a distraction for y'all come this season.
And you wonder why.
Well, here's the thing. From a distraction standpoint, I can't think of an offseason in anybody's football careers, any football team, that's just been more chaotic than us. And you add on top of it's chaotic in the sports landscape alone just because of the COVID situation. You add on top of that, you have what happened with the Washington football team's name change. You have what happens with the sex scandal. You then have what also broke this week, which is that the rumors that came out before the sex scandal broke, the sexual harassment scandal broke in the Washington Post, when everybody was online kind of speculating about what it would be. And I think TMZ speculated that it had something to do with Snyder and Epstein and this, that, and the other. Dan Snyder's just filed a $10 million lawsuit against the parent company, I think, at TMZ in India, to go – he's going after everybody that said anything. So as far as Dan Snyder being contrite, it's not going to happen. He's definitely coming for everybody. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, to go from some employees in the organization are doing these bad things to saying I was on a sex island with Jeff Epstein.
Yeah.
I kind of understand wanting to sue a few people.
Yeah,
So I don't quite blame him.
I don't know that man.
Right.
I've never met that man.
So
Like,
there's
you got to be careful with what you report because it could do, even if untrue, can do lasting damage to
well,
somebody.
I mean, lasting. That's the one thing in which I don't know. If you got a judge looking at that, you're like, Dan, this is the least of your worries. Like,
Yeah.
the things that are verifiable that make you a terrible human being are not as bad as
Yeah, we have a laundry list here.
Right.
I think this is the one untruth followed by all of these other
like,
truths.
can one argue that you cannot defame one's character if it doesn't exist? Like,
Your character has already been trashed, sir.
but then on top of all of those other things, you then have what also happened this week, which was something of a bit of a shock for Skins fans who watch football. I can still say Skins fans, or formerly Skins fans. Darius Geis, our running back that we have been wanting to see take the field because he's only played 5 games. Injury just plagued after such a promising career at LSU. He gets drafted by us. In LSU, near the draft time, there was a lot of concerns about his character. There was actually somebody released a quote from an NFL exec that said that when talking about Darius Geis, they said he was the worst human being I've ever met, is what one NFL exec said before. He was the worst piece of trash he's ever met doing this job. But he's done a good job as far as maybe pulling the wool over.
Was this before the draft?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
he was a first-round running back.
He was a first-round running back.
He went in the second round because
just because of character issues.
Yeah, but like, who said that?
An NFL exec. I don't know who.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes that is BS because they want him to drop.
In this particular case,
it looks like there was smoke and fire, and it wasn't somebody speaking about it like after the fact. This was somebody that went back into the catalog, found a quote that he got back then. I think the reporter said he didn't want to post that when he heard that because he thought it would be too damaging. So now he's saying it now because in the context of everything, just like
I'm saying when the executive said it then. Sometimes people put out like these stories about players because they want them to fall.
It never got released.
Here's the thing. I know the character issue thing. I don't describe to that part of it as far as certain people using it as a strategic way to make certain players fall.
They do.
I'm saying that depending on how it is you go about it, I usually don't see. I've seen other things get brought up, whether it be injury issues, whether it be when you talk about character concerns as far as like an overall general thing. I've never heard that level of vitriol used for any. Nobody would go that far on somebody.
They would just say they've got character issues,
which is what they do all the time.
Yeah.
What have you ever heard somebody get described as the worst person I've ever come across?
I've heard people say like that players have done things.
I mean, obviously 32 teams agreed.
Or before. Like
32 teams agreed.
Like, huh?
I said all 32 teams apparently agreed because he did drop to the second round.
Which is that's what I'm saying.
I'm not defending him. I'm saying that sometimes execs, scouts, whoever,
yes, they do.
Like stories here and there.
But never a description like this.
Yeah, and this is not the case here.
This
Obviously.
has never been a description like this. I've never heard that before.
I heard that there are character issues. That I have heard, but I've never heard someone say.
I remember what was it?
Person.
And
here's the thing. But another thing. When you think about that, think about anybody who was given that logo, and it didn't actually pan out that he was a piece of shit.
Jameis Winston.
All right. You remember the lineman for the Dolphins? I think it was his stepdad released a video of him smoking a bong, like right before the draft.
That you got.
I know that's not what I'm like. That's just an example.
That's what. Here's the thing. Well, before me and you get into that argument thing that we always do, and we're not arguing about anything. I want to nip that in the bud right here. I'm not asking for examples of execs leaking information to get somebody's draft stock. I'm saying, have you ever heard any exec ever say this guy's the worst piece of shit I have ever come across?
Not an exec, no.
But that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
And what I'm saying
it's never been that level of vitriol.
We're saying two different things again.
Right. It's never been that level of vitriol.
You're giving
wow,
me
see, I did
examples.
good. As far as conflict management, that was great. So,
Yeah.
right? So it was, but all right, so getting sidetracked as far as the backstory,
He
what
went to
happens
jail.
this week, Darius Geis gets arrested
Yeah.
on counts of domestic assault, including felony strangulation and destruction
Yeah.
of
And it's
property
like 3 months in a row.
for 3 separate incidents that happened in February, March, and April. He turned himself into Loudoun County Police on Friday. Unceremoniously, as soon as the news leaked, I think I sent a text to the group as I was going to go pick up takeout food. As I'm driving, I sent the text. I was at a stoplight. Did anybody wonder? When I got to the restaurant and I grabbed the food and got back in the car, James sends the text back. The skins have already cut him. I'm like, what? Like the story had just broke. 15 minutes later, Ron Rivera and the team already had a statement out. They'd cut him.
Yeah, but they knew they had to have known like that morning, and then they did.
Which is what the statement said.
But it's weird that like if you look at like his response, like his lawyer's response, saying that he like vehemently denies it, like says this did not happen. It's weird that I mean, with everything that's going on with the team these past few years that came out this summer, I can understand why the team is so quick to cut ties with anyone that, you know, that may have something like that. But
they
if he didn't do anything, if it's not true,
I'm assuming that it is true. I mean, there's no.
Are you supposed to assume that it's true though?
I'm sure they got a copy of those police reports. They probably talked to the officers.
Yeah,
and they probably said
what happened. So when it happened, the first incident, are you saying that there was a police report then?
No, because he would have been arrested. I'm saying that she went. I guess it probably got bad enough that she had to go to the police,
or she was stuck in quarantine with him, or something. I don't know.
And or she was afraid of him.
Or I don't even know if it's a she. Honestly, I haven't heard any news leak as far as what happened.
Yeah. But I'm sure that they got a hold of the police reports, talked to the officers, and were like, well, some of these are going to stick, and we're not going to be around for it. So, which
is why you go for that whole smoke is fire thing, because like in one sense, like I see where you're coming from, James, because we had just brought up Reuben Foster, who got ousted from the San Francisco 49ers before the investigation was able to take hand, and then they come to realize like, hey, this was all messed up.
Also, the bomb on the plane guy.
No, that was
no, that's
okay.
Alden Smith? Was the lineman that
Alden
was
Smith?
Alden Smith.
No.
When was
it? I thought that was a lineman from the Niners that was on the Dolphins. They got bullied. Martin.
Oh no.
Mm.
Now I have to know. But what's cool is, I don't know if Darius is still in jail, but I'll be in Loudoun tomorrow. So.
Oh wow.
Alden Smith.
Alden did the. Damn.
Yep.
All right. Well.
So, but here's the thing. So, like, I understand what Ron Rivera came into town like a goddamn cowboy and said, "There's a new sheriff in town, and I am going to make sure that we are on the right side of everything." Once he gets there, the story breaks as far as the sexual harassment. We're changing the team name. They've hired women in all certain levels of the organization. We have the first female coach, I think, in the league right now. We have a what?
No, you don't.
No,
is the first minority female?
Maybe because they had had that girl who was on all the commercials with the short
for the 49ers.
Yeah, I think it might be the first minority. I don't know. I forget.
Okay. She was definitely a white.
So but what we're doing is like that. What we're doing as far as the changing of the culture of the team makes me believe there might be something more. Because I mean, if the word comes out that he's completely innocent and that none of this stuff was all right, then it's kind of hard pressed. Because as far as what he's been for the face of the fans, he's been awesome. Like I've been online numerous times, been able to talk to him. He's very open. He's been very cordial. Like when
Skills did a stream with him.
Huh?
Skills did a stream with him, right?
No, it's like he's always been accessible, and there's all like I'm watching stories like oh man, he sent my daughter a jersey that was signed. He sent my son this. He met up with us at Sports Authority and bought us this.
Well, like, turns out his hands are also accessible. They're free.
Tough.
I also had another one. I'm going to tell it now.
No.
He had 49 touches for the Washington Redskins.
Oh, God, no.
Over under on whether he touched a significant other more times.
Over.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely over.
Definitely over.
Definitely
so it's like, I mean, but we don't know what we don't know exactly what else.
It's a free out on his contract. I mean, if you think of it that way, they can get rid of him for cause.
Well, this is from a straight X's and O's standpoint.
49 touches in 2 years.
But he was still on his rookie deal, right? So it wasn't like he wasn't expensive.
No.
But
it's still, you don't want that on your books.
Yeah, you don't.
But here's
if that is true, it's true, like, hey, whatever, like what y'all did is perfectly fine.
But that's the thing. It's from a strict X's and O's, Jake, organizational standpoint, outside of the moral issues, right? He hasn't really proven much. He's in 5 yards of carry, which is okay, decent. We look what he's at LSU.
It was a lot.
But even with that, it's like, all right, you got to stay on the field in order for us to get anything done with you.
And we just drafted another running back. So
our running back, like that has been an issue in the sense of like, I don't know what we were going to do with all these fucking running backs. Like, we have you got Adrian Peterson, J.D. McKisson.
They're not all good, though.
Hold on. But there's a lot of talent. Adrian Peterson, you can't say he's not good.
Now?
Yes, now. What did he do last year? You can't tell me that he's not.
What did he do last year? I don't know.
He still was at he was almost like 4 yards of carry.
I mean, I'm not discounting him. I'm saying I generally don't know.
I'm saying that he's still a good running back. Like, I don't know, like he's
serviceable.
Denying that.
Yeah, serviceable compared to
he's a good running back. I'm not mincing my words. He's a good running back.
And he's on the field, which Darius guys are never on the fucking field.
Yeah, like the best ability is availability. I know.
Which is the same reason, like, you can't tell me, regardless of whether or not you might want him on the team or not, that fucking Frank Gore has still been a good running back. Because
he's a Hall of Famer, for sure.
If you give him the rock, but Adrian Peterson's an automatic first ballot Hall of Fame already, too. Yeah. But if you give him the rock, you know you're going to get the best out of him, and you never know when he can break one, even at that old age. Like, that's the thing, is that he could still do that, which makes him a good running back.
36?
Yeah.
He's 36?
I don't know if he's mid-30s at least.
Good Lord.
But he's also has no money.
He's a legend.
So you got Adrian Peterson. You have Peyton Barber, 35. Who's shown flashes. He was
with the Bucks, right?
Yep. You have he's shown flashes. I'm not saying –
I know.
He's not Christian McCaffrey.
I get what you're saying. I know.
You have J.D. McKissic. You got a lot of guys that haven't gotten a chance to be the guy. And when nobody's asking them to be the guy, we're saying all you need to do is show flashes because we have so many of you. You've got Bryce Love, the great running back out of UCLA who looked like a beast.
I thought he was at Stanford.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. No, you're right. Sorry.
California team. Doesn't matter.
Like, I feel like he should be the one to take the mantle as the –
Now we don't have to worry about Darius
He's more speed back. Then you got Antonio Gibson that we just drafted, who looks like he is the
player.
Where
was he from?
I forget where he's from. Some fucking but he's the X factor. He's the dude that they look at as the Christian McCaffrey.
You're not going to have, like, on your final roster, you're not going to have that many running backs, are you?
Yeah, we might. That's kind of what we're looking at is what the Scott Turner and those guys are saying.
Memphis.
Like, there's a chance that we might have that many. When you added Darius Geis to the mix, when you have any Skins fan was telling you is that, like, look, while he's shown the most flashes, can I really say that I've got to pick him over some of these other guys when I want to see how they go too? So it kind of eliminates that option, and it's like,
it's kind of like he's expendable because you have so many people at that position.
Now that's the thing. He could go on. Let's say he gets picked up by the Ravens in a few weeks because all the Chargers get dropped out. He could be an MVP candidate. I don't know, but he wasn't on the field for us, so we didn't know. And now that there was enough smoke around him, it's not juice. We're not worth to squeeze anymore.
Yeah, you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip.
What?
You can't squeeze blood out of a turnip.
Because there's no blood in a turnip.
All right. I never heard that saying. So.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, we just don't have enough to go off of.
And to be honest, I thought you said you couldn't squeeze blood out of a turtle. And I was like, what?
You can definitely do that.
You can definitely do that. Don't try. Please don't try. That's animal abuse. All right. Well, I mean, I'm excited to see what – I mean, obviously, I think AP is still going to be the Washington football team's main back, but they're gonna be able to pepper in a bunch of other backs, and one of them's got to be good. So.
Yeah, I
really
hope,
Antonio Gibson is a fucking monster too. He's a big boy.
I hope AP I hope his retirement isn't like, I don't want his body to break down, which I feel like it will if he continues to run the way he does, and he's getting that many carries.
But he's got $0 in his bank account, so he doesn't really have a choice.
Oh yeah.
If there's anything from Adrian Peterson where you're going to see him in Washington, I think this year more than anything is frustration, because Adrian's one of the guys who he likes getting fed, and the more you feed him, the more you do it. With the way that we have these running backs right now, I think he's going to be the most pure runner that we have. Mm-hmm. But as far as but that's the thing. I look at that system and I say that we're going to have a lot of 2 or even 3 back sets. If you also look at the weaknesses that we have at tight end right now, we got Logan Thomas and maybe Thaddeus Moss makes the roster.
Don't you disparage Logan Thomas?
But it's one of those.
Wasn't he a QB?
Yeah, Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
So it's like
he can block.
So we didn't. I thought we'd still make a flyer like a Delaney Walker or something right now, but it's like when you see that, and what I'm seeing is what it looks like they're going to try to do with that offense. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a lot of just you don't know who the X factor is. You got Scary Terry. I'm really liking what the Washington football team is doing with their roster as far as on offense. There's a lot of it's just unknowns. Like, I'm excited to see. I don't know if any of it's going to pan out, but there's so much talent that I'm so excited to see. I don't remember a team being this young, full of guys with so much.
And you're going to need a whole lot of blocking backs because the football team.
We led last year. Our rookies led damn near everything.
Even at quarterback, I'm saying from the top down for this organization, there is nobody other than Adrian Peterson, which you already know what you're going to get with him. It's not really like there's no surprise there. Whereas with Derek Carr, you didn't know if you were going to get 10 interceptions, 10 touchdowns. Like, it was – and you know he was going to cry about it. Like, that was the only
Okay, what about you? Our QB's better than yours, so –
yeah, because you know what you have with him, which is mediocrity. We're still not entirely
sure. He's not mediocre. Like, the fuck? He's just not great. He's like damn near top 10.
You sound like you're his social media manager.
He's like 11.
If you look at, I think it was Colin Cowherd did the top 10.
James,
listen to what I'm saying. It was like a Pro Football Talk. They did their top 10 or the top offenses in the league, right? And of course he had issues with it, but the number one thing he didn't have an issue with was the Chiefs were number 1. The Skins were 32. He's like, everything in the middle, he's like,
But
I think we were at 11.
We don't know.
We don't know. That's what I'm saying. There's so many.
We have seen Derek Carr play.
I don't remember 18.
And we were top 10.
Right, but we're saying we haven't seen our team play at all.
Okay. Our team?
So we don't know.
Our team?
Washington football team.
Bro. Okay. I was like, you coming back?
Hey,
you coming back?
Last year, the top 3 receivers for the Skins were all rookies. When have you seen a team roll out with all rookies at every single skill position? Usually you at least have 1 or 2 vets that kind of offset things. That's not what we're doing. We literally, all of our guys other than Adrian Peterson is basically a 1 or 2 year guy. We have no idea if Scary Terry is any sort of indication of where the talent level could be with any of these guys. I'm extremely excited. Like, that's the thing is that, but in the same token, they could all be trash. We don't know.
We could have the Washington football team.
We're in the same boat.
It could be the 32nd ranked offense.
No, you're not the same boat.
Or they could be 4th. You guys know that you're 11th.
Josh Jacobs is a beast. Darren Waller is a beast. Where the ceiling is, we don't know. We know Derek Carr has reached his peak. Like, we get where
what was his peak, though?
Mediocrity. We get his
Was he not in the MVP conversation?
No, he gets.
He was. The fuck are you talking about?
He gets.
What are you talking about? Was he not in the MVP conversation before he broke his leg?
No.
Are you stupid? Like, what are you talking about?
But that's
like stop making up lies to fit your point.
Wait,
was he not in the MVP conversation before he broke his leg?
Yes,
when we went
but
12
he
and 4.
has broken his leg, so he reached his peak.
Hold on, Ryan. Was he not there? That's all I'm asking.
But you're arguing around his point.
He broke his leg. I think it was like the like second to last game, like in the fourth quarter. He shouldn't have been in the game, but then he broke his leg towards the end of the year.
Yeah, because he still has something to prove because he lets everybody else in this fucking year.
He's not going to get better now that he broke his leg. But we have no idea. None of the players on the Skins have played, so we don't know where they're at. We know where Derek Carr is. He might be able to get here.
I agree.
But we have people who are here that can be here.
I agree with what you're saying. What I'm saying to Kadeem is, you said you saw his peak, and I was like, where was his peak? His peak was in the MVP conversation.
Right. And we have no idea.
Once he was in the MVP conversation. There's a lot of guys that have a flash year.
MVPs.
Yeah, that's true.
So
we'll see what he does this year.
That's what I'm saying.
What he does this year.
I know who Derek Carr is. You guys might believe in him. The same way you can talk shit about the Redskins as far as from an objective standpoint, it's the same way I can be objective about Derek Carr. He's a mediocre fucking quarterback.
Right now, yes.
Thank you. So that's all I'm saying is that when it comes to the Skins, there's one thing that is universally accepted, even when it comes to like Pro Football Focus, who I love those guys from an analytical standpoint.
Okay.
The Skins are the biggest X factor in the league. Right now, we have to put them at 32 because we have no idea. But everything they have is just it's so interesting to see. Everybody wants to see what happens. They have the most interesting running back core. Too. But it's the Pro Football Focus said we had the most interesting running back core in the league because of just the variety
so many people.
Talent. Right.
Yeah.
But even you look at our wide receiver core. Terry's the best one we got. Kelvin Harmon, I thought, was probably going to be the better receiver, and he showed flashes. Steven Sims is a hell of a slot receiver.
Who's Harmon?
Kelvin Harmon, he was what did he play? Virginia, one of these. We drafted him last year.
Is he a rookie? Is he a rookie?
Second year. He was a rookie last year. But he was the most put together.
All rookies from last year are still rookies this year because the Skins did not put out a team last year.
You got AGG, the 6'4" wide receiver from Liberty University, who they're saying on the field has been keeping up with the 4-3 guys. So I'm like, hold on, his body can keep up with them? And they're already saying based on like Wonderlic and everything he's done, he might be the smartest guy in the league. At least he's the smartest guy to get drafted last year. Like and to me, to have that sort of IQ at wide receiver is incredible. To be able to run those routes and everything, to have a high IQ would be incredible. I am just excited. We might suck ass.
You should be excited. Like, but we should all be excited.
There's a potential for the WFT to not suck ass, and that's what people are excited about.
Which I am standing firm. If we make the playoffs, Washington football team has to stay at least another year. If we win a Super Bowl, that's our name.
Yeah, WFTs.
If we win a Super Bowl, that's our name. You're not gonna have one. There's not gonna be a single fan in Washington that's gonna argue with that. We're not ever changing the name if we win.
That's stupid stuff. Come on, man.
Whiffed.
Y'all can't go around. Yeah, we're the Washington.
Also, Kelvin Harmon went to NC State.
NC State. That's it. I know it was somewhere.
He's from Liberia. Who knew? I did not.
Dude,
all right, moving on.
Josh Jacobs should have won Rookie of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year.
All right, moving on. That is not what we're moving on to. We're moving away.
I just wanted to say it.
Being a Raiders fan is like being a Washington football team fan, just head in the sand all the time.
No, it's not head in the sand. It's this perpetual chip on shoulder. Skins fans at least acknowledge we suck.
We suck.
Raiders fans live in this aura of just the whole world is out to get me. It's like it's just.
I said if one thing should be like now it's like, oh yeah, you're always complaining. It's true. Like look how the players voted it.
See what I'm saying?
Josh Jacobs was what, 76?
See, he's still defending.
Kyler Murray was 90.
He doesn't realize what he's doing right now, which is just like it's just Raiders fans. It's just that. There's
people that aren't even Raiders fans. Like when they did the NFL Top 100 or whatever. If you look at the comments, it's people that's not Raiders fans saying it. You're just bitching because it's me talking about it, and you hate me.
Thanks, James.
Well, let's move on.
Thanks, James, for verifying that a Raiders fan is not capable of saying he's not a Raiders fan.
Stop talking. Let's move on.
Look like they're not Raiders fan.
let's talk